on, yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll do it from my computer. Recently, my friend Kai Murros just uploaded some, I don't know if it's a new speech, but it's a recording of one of his speeches. And so I thought that might be a neat background for today's work. We're going to be looking at some new characters, talking about issue 2 of MAGA Force, and it's going to be an interesting ride, to say the least. Pretty cool. And if you have not had a chance yet, you can pick up my book. The link to my website will take you directly to the book. It's been selling really well, so I'm really thankful. Using the money to help to pay for coloring the comics, art supplies, more artwork, and just, feeding the machine, if you will. So I'm going to get some of these, get this speech going. Give me a second here. Hope everybody's doing well. I've got a bunch of shows coming up that are worth making some announcements about. Just trying to find this. So what is today? Today is Friday. Saturday, 7 p.m., I've got a show with Nullis, Imminent Rain, and Lord Wolfshield. And we're going to be doing a show. It's a memorial show for Jeff Winston for the White Art Collective. We'll continue the fundraiser for Hyrith and their baby. That's been doing very well, and I really can't thank everyone in the community enough for what they've done with that. So let me just get started with my art, and I'm going to play some Kai Murros.
The British ruling class is the mortal enemy of the English people. The British ruling class is at war with the English people. The British ruling class will do anything in its power to hurt the English people. The British ruling class considers the hostile aliens as allies in a long and protracted social war against the English people. The British ruling class finds the intruding races and wandering tribes as useful tools in a brutal class war against the English people. The British ruling class calculates that the cutthroats, rapists and thugs can be the much-needed brute force against the English people to drive them from their lands. The ancestral English soil is already promised as booty to merciless outsiders, and the English themselves are now considered as trespassers. The British ruling class will betray the English people socially, culturally, economically, ethnically, and in any way it can and as long as it can. In the eyes of the British ruling class and its alien minions, the English people must be eradicated. However, the ethnic emancipation of the English people will eventually lead to the destruction of the British ruling class and the oppressive system it has created and maintains. To expedite the course of this war is to expedite history itself. Your aim cannot be anything less but the total annihilation of the British ruling class. You must not fall short from this goal. You must use all means possible to achieve this goal. Vindictive ethnic infiltrators have found ample amount of allies in the political, cultural and economic elite, and have thus stealthily started promoting anti-English values and genocidal ideals, and managed increasingly infect the public opinion with self-loathing, guilt, shame and perversion. In the economic sphere of life, these vicious colonists have managed to reduce the English people into a state of debt slaves and evicted tenants, rather than being masters of their ancestral lands and their destiny. Unfortunately, a great number of English people have accepted the policies aimed at replacing them. A great number of English people have at least passively given their consent to the actions of the anti-English establishment, either by voting the mainstream parties or by keeping silent of the crimes committed against the English people. A great number of English people have accepted their new role as a cheerful audience to the anti-English propaganda disguised as entertainment. The English nationalists will have to face the most irritating enemy, the childlike, smug, complacent, shallow, babbling masses. When you speak to them, they laugh at you. When you try to reason with them, they sneer at you. When you plead them to listen to you, they find it absolutely hilarious. The best giggles they get is when they realize just how sincere you are. Seeing your frustration really makes their day. Seeing your desperation is entertainment to them. In their eyes, your love for England makes you a pathetic fool, the butt of jokes. In their eyes, your love for England only exposes your weakness. A great number of English people have not accepted to be mere passive bystanders in all this, but have sought for an active role in helping the establishment to replace the English people. This is something you must take into consideration in your work. In the coming years, English nationalists will have to carry on their march through the valley of the shadow of death. English nationalists are facing a difficult task. How can you save a nation that so often does not want to be saved? How can you help your nation to survive if the nation, in many cases, has a very flippant attitude towards survival? When a large number of the population rather chooses death through mass immigration and have thus resigned from being English, who then are the English after all? English nationalists may wonder who actually are their people. Many English people, however, subconsciously understand what is being done, but unfortunately try to escape into nostalgia. The apparent hopelessness of the situation drains them their inner strength and makes them resort to escapism. But know this, all the pomp and pageantry cannot hide the fact that England is standing on its last legs and is facing peril. England has been hollowed out by its ruling class. England has been betrayed by those who were given so much. Behind the imposing imperial edifice, the shadows are getting longer each passing day. But the world will change beyond recognition the day when the Anglo-Saxons learn to hate. Therefore, the word of the day is revenge. Bloody revenge, boundless revenge, revenge without rules, restrictions or limitations. Only by allowing yourself to become a vehicle for revenge, you can become a nation again. You must embrace the prospect of war. You must celebrate the advent of war. War in all its totality must be the cornerstone of your movement. War in all its majesty must be the guiding principle of everything you do. This movement has to be about war, total war. But today the question still remains. Is there anyone in this land fit and willing to ride into battle against those who defile your womenfolk? Are there any brave men left in this kingdom, able and eager to slay the vile alien chieftains who have taken your land, enslaved your girls and women, and are now flaunting with their spoils? Can we find one warrior in the whole of England brave enough to challenge the power of the rapacious foreign warlords who keep the daughters of this land in captivity and sell them like cattle? The girls of Rotherham, Telford and Rochester expect all Englishmen to do their duty. If the English people shrink from this duty, then this nation is doomed. If the people keep looking the other way and pretend they see nothing, then England is dead. If the English people try to rationalize this rape, to put it into perspective, to understand the other side, to show moderation, then England is finished. If the English people keep turning the other cheek, then it is clear that England can no longer survive. This is not the time to keep calm. This is the terrible age of the Great Transition. Nothing is as it used to be. Everything familiar is gone. All the knowledge we have accumulated is no longer valid. Old skills are now outdated. We are entering a strange and hostile landscape. The terrain of the future is unknown to us. There are no charts how to navigate these waters. We are surrounded by unforeseen dangers. Untold perils await us. The fog of war descends upon us. The storm is rising, drowning those who are unprepared. Therefore, you must prepare for the unthinkable. You must prepare for what cannot be admitted publicly. You must prepare for what the politicians flatly deny. You must prepare for what the experts reject with a nervous laughter. You must prepare for what makes the analysts shake their heads. The rumor has it. There's a whisper in the streets. The word is out. The air is pregnant with anticipation. What is coming is the complete and utter collapse of the global world order. And then war, the mother of all wars. Therefore, you must train, drill, and exercise. You must conspire, collude, and connive. You must organize, coordinate, and synchronize. You must subvert, destabilize, and undermine. And you must propagate, agitate, and incite. There is so much to do if we want to survive the coming perfect storm and benefit from it. This is indeed the dawning of a new age. This is the dawning of the age of Mars. This is the dawning of the age of the broken rib, cracked skull, and crushed jaw. This is the dawning of the age of burning cities. This is the dawning of the age of savage fighting in the ruins of a dying civilization. This is the dawning of the age of tribal violence in urban jungle. This is the dawning of the age of street war in a world of chaos. And no sacrifice is too severe to save England, no deed too brutal. Great Italian statesman and philosopher Niccolo Machiavelli once asked, which is better for a prince, to be loved or to be feared? As far as this movement is concerned, the answer is absolutely clear. This movement must be feared so much that this fear will eventually transform into deepest love. For when love and fear complement each other, greatness can be achieved. You are decent, honest, sincere people. You feel betrayed for the theft of your land. You are frustrated when you realize that many of your fellow Englishmen just don't care. You are desperate as it seems that the entire society has gone mad and that this madness is now simply the new normal, with no end in sight. But you are the vanguard, and this always means being desperately alone. You are the spearhead of the national tribal awakening of the English people. But there's a price to be paid for it, and therefore today you are ostracized and castigated. Today you are the minority, but the day will come when you will be the majority. The day will come when your determination, your unyielding will, your passion and your vengeance will steer this nation. The day will come when you purge and purify an infested nation and punish those who are wicked and worthless. Today you are a despised minority, a persecuted minority, but this could not. You have to be a minority. In a rotten, perverted world, those who proclaim the truth are always the minority. In a dying, decadent world, those who persevere with the truth cannot be anything but a hated minority. In the kingdom of the blind, those who can see are considered freaks. But this world will not last. Today, you are the laughingstock of the intellectuals and the in crowd. But eventually, their laughter will die in their throats. You can already see the beginning panic in their eyes. You can smell their fear. You can hear their incoherent ramblings when they try to make sense of this new and dangerous situation. You will relish listening to their nervous, idiotic prattle when they try to hide their growing exasperation. Oh, the joy when their idiotic giggle turns into screaming. Oh, the exultation when their moronic chatter turns into shrieks. Their paradigm is failing. The foundations of their precious word are faltering. They have lost the momentum. They hesitate. They look anxious. The modern liberal leftist, greeny, comic, anarcho-parasite lives an existential crisis, a life of worries. The promised victory is slipping. The lion awakens. The collective rage of the English no longer sleeps. Anglo-Saxon tribal fury is breaking its shackles. Your very existence is an affront to them. The fact that you live and breathe is an existential threat to them.
True.
Your confidence makes them worry. You will feast while your enemies moan and wail. You know something they don't, and this fills them with hysteria and paranoia. You can tease with them, toy with them, torment them, and torture them. Today psychologically, and tomorrow you will tear them apart limb by limb. Parasites are lapdogs of the dying British state. They can still try to pretend that they are somehow important, but their days are numbered, as are the days of their paymasters in the government, in the city, and in the media. Vengeance is yours, for vengeance is your fate. Vengeance is your lot in this life. You may try to avoid it, you may try to escape it, you may try to protest it, But make no mistake, it will follow you until you do what must be done. Your enemies accuse you of being populists, but there is nothing populist about you, because the measures you will take in order to save England can never be popular. The lengths you will go in order to save England can never be discussed in public. You are fanatics, and England is your religion. The British Empire is gone, and it will never come back. You must now find your tribal spirit. You are a tribe, and not some fading residue of an expired empire.
Just pausing for a second to say hello to Leonidas, King Leonidas. Rando Girl, cool name. Glad you like the work there, yeah. All right, so yeah, we'll just keep going. I'm missing one of my character designs, and I'm kind of, panicking, looking around for the damn thing. Anyway, actually, I think now that I recall, it might actually be on the back of one of these characters here, and I was right. This is a basically it's like a Chinese spy type superhero in this story, but so she's got kind of a nice sort of Chinese style silk costume. It's got certain qualities to it. I'm going to put the Murros Speech back on, and away we go.
You are the tribe of the English people, and England is your sacred tribal land. Your dream time goes back to the days when megaliths were erected beyond. Your dream time goes back to the days when the first hunters witnessed the great ice sheets retreating north, revealing this green and pleasant land. Your dream time goes back to the days when the white wall of Dover rose from the cold sea to demarcate this new land and to protect its people. Your collective memory goes back to the days when druids worshipped the sun, the moon, and the hidden powers within the earth itself. Today, every fuzzy-wuzzy and jigaboo may entertain aspirations of becoming British, especially after having acquired a piece of paper that claims to do that. But English, they are not. Come, English. It would seem that getting the British citizenship is nowadays considered to be one of the universal human rights. It would seem that the right to arrive in this country and enjoy its benefits is considered to be as an inalienable human right advocated by the United Nations. If so, then only as English you can survive as a people. Modernity, multiculturalism, liberalism and tolerance are simply a trap designed to kill you. They are sweet, beautiful words used to hide the slow extermination of the English people. They are imposing terms and grandiose concepts, but completely hollow from the inside. They are high-flying theories and lofty ideals, but in reality they are the noose around the English necks, the sword of Damocles dangling over. Now, here's a to-do list for the English nationalists. Hike along the ley lines, visit megalithic sites, spend a night on top of Silbury Hill, make new life on top of Silbury Hill, climb up ancient trees, hug them and talk to them, swim naked in sacred springs, make new life in sacred groves, run like the wind, howl like the wolves, plant a tree, grow vegetables and eat them, spend time in ancient cemeteries and remember they are your people. Learn to speak Anglo-Saxon or some Celtic language. Learn to bake bread and share it with your family and friends. Learn a craft. Tinker with your hands. Never hurt foxes or badgers. Read dusty old books telling the deeds of your people. Hold hands in dark forests. Sing around campfires. Put your ear to the ground and listen carefully. Make new life inside the ancient stone circles. Every child conceived inside a hedge will have special powers. You must be fertile and brave. In your loins you carry new life. With your fists you extinguish life. The survival of the English race is in you. Don't look for answers anywhere else. Don't listen to hostile aliens, cynics, naysayers, or so-called experts. The chain of generations must remain unbroken. English bloodlines will be declared as national treasures and will be protected at all times, at all costs, and in every means. The leftists and liberals often say that this movement is about retreating, escaping into fantasies, that you are trying to recreate a past that never even existed, that you have created an idealized version of the past and now believe in it. Nothing could be further from the truth. Yes, this movement is about rediscovering the past. Yes, this movement is about bringing back to life what has been lost, forgotten, or deliberately hidden by the powers that be. But the idea is to find the best about your past and project it forward as a progressive vision for the future of the English people. You will leave poverty, squalor, social inequality, superstition, and ignorance in the bygone centuries. But all the positive, empowering aspects of your past you will resurrect to make your people strong, courageous, self-confident, and optimistic. You must fight defeatism and cynicism, as they are only subtle forms of treachery. Your greatest strength is in your enthusiasm and passion. You are now quickly approaching the point zero, the day when you will be standing on the ruins of your civilization.
Take a little break from Murros Speech to check out my friends here. Welcome to Rando Girl, Daniel Bro. I could draw that so easy. Okay, that is when I'm dead. Aw. Are you an artist or an aspiring artist, Daniel? Also, I'd like to know how you guys found this channel. I've been putting out a lot of cool shorts. Check out the shorts on my YouTube channel. A lot of fun. So yeah, that'd be great. Nice art, my guy. Nice. Well, it's awesome to have you guys here. So I don't know if you know who I am, and that's another topic. But I'm just I do art, and I'm in what's known as the white positive sphere, or white positive movement, white identity movement. And if you don't know anything about that, I could imagine that would sound like, whoa, what's that all about? And or you may already have like a lot of preconceived ideas, which would essentially come from the media and things like that. But yeah, we have our own arts, our own culture. It's all about like positive us, not negative anyone else. There are of course, a lot of anti-whites out there, and a lot of issues and problems in politics and culture, da da da. But in the arts, what we're essentially trying to do is celebrate our heritage, our civilization, enlighten other people about that, and but also do it in a beautiful, entertaining, and artistic way. So it's a great community. I'm part of the White Art Collective, what's known as one of the pillar members, which means that I was around since the beginning, and I've done a huge amount in terms of like contributing to that community and the basic, all the cultural stuff that we do and we have. And this channel is an example of that. So, I welcome you, and I'm happy to have you here. And I would love it if you could share this with some people. Um, I'm totally, totally wide open for questions of any kind, and so you guys are good to go. If there's, I would suspect that probably most people that are coming to this channel are coming for the art rather than politics or what have you, and that's totally fine. Um, I jump all over the place. I'm not. I talk about my experience living in Asia. Um, I do kung fu, and then I practice like uh, Asian Chinese yoga and various things like that. So like it's not all political. There's like quite a lot of different variety. You can look through my set list. My set list? No, that's my band stuff. You can look through my music. You can look through other shows that I have listed here on this channel. Quite a lot of cool stuff. And so I took a lot of time off for a lot of personal reasons, and then I'm back. So this is it. I'm trying to get my graphic novel off the ground. It's pretty long. It's like 6 issues, so it's gonna be a lot of time, you know, of me doing streams like this. Um, yeah, so there you go. I think that I might put the speech back on, and just so that there's, some kind of interesting stuff going on in the background for you guys. Just give me a second here. I really am excited about getting this colorized, and then you guys can kind of really feel the energy of the story and the people in the story. Hollandier is here. Wonderful. Let's see. Let's see. Who's here? Who's here? Um, Pants Monster. Well, V6, Daddy. Okay, I don't know about that. Hey, just a quick note here: if you're under 18 and you're visiting this channel, this is not a channel for kids. So I know a lot of kids are interested in art and fun, cool stuff. Roblox is great. My son used to love it. I am a father, and I would say that like this isn't a show for kids. So if you're under 18, I would probably go play some Roblox or do something fun. This stuff here is a little on the heavy side, but I do appreciate your liking my work and your compliments. Thank you. Renzo and the Skies channel. Ayo. Good to see you, Renzo. Let's see. My channel's back. Okay, here. What I miss? Oh, I'm playing a speech by Kai Murros, and if I can't really make it a lot louder just because of the configuration of where I am set up and the computer is, but it's pretty hot stuff. It's like super hot, very heavy stuff. Hollandier, well met. My channel says you pop up on shorts as a live stream and have a relaxing voice. My, I was actually on the news a couple of years ago, my local news. Let me just take a sip. Hold on. And the minute that I met like the newscaster, is like locally famous guy, and I just just the usual, hey, thanks for coming, da da da, welcome, something something, and he's like, you should be a weatherman. It's like, you've got a great voice for radio and da da. So this is kind of my radio show, I guess, and I'm glad. I'm afraid that my voice is too sleepy, that it like puts that like don't get too relaxed, fall asleep there. Let's see what else here. Hollandier. My first guest was Mustache Man, but my second was Kai. Oh wow! Oh wow! I didn't know that. My channel, you had Kai Moros on. Is that what you're saying? That's incredible. So I'm going to get back to the Kai Moros speech. It's about England, and he's calling, for the English people to stand up for their existence, and it's a very, very, very intense speech. Okay.
Witnessing the complete destruction of the values that once defined Englishness. You are forced to testify how your traditions, manners, and norms have been utterly eradicated by the powers that be. You are compelled to observe how the civil society has turned into a jungle, how law and order and any sense of decency have become meaningless. However, at that very moment, you can dedicate yourselves to the struggle without any sentimentality, without any illusions, and without any compassion. Freed from the obligations of civility and freed from the conventional expectations of the society. By attacking the English traditions, values, and norms, the enemy has given you free hands to wage this struggle with the ferocity of a wolf pack. This is the moment when the gloves fall off. If you want England to survive, you must break all laws, forsake all conventions, renounce all social graces. You must abolish the bourgeois decorum, you must spurn the middle class compliance, and you must repudiate the liberal pretension. You must show absolute contempt for the moribund liberal society and the slave morality it advocates. Bourgeois sentimentality must be surgically removed from the masses. Middle class opportunism must be exorcised from the English people. Liberal egoism must be driven out of this land and people. In the crucible of the National Revolutionary War, a new spiritual alloy will be forged, and in this magical, mesmerizing alloy, the hardest, the most zealous, and the most fanatical elements of the English people will be bonded. We demand absolute, total, and complete power to the masses of the English people. We demand the English people to become the masters of their land again. The dictatorship of the masses is an absolute necessity for the survival of the English people. The direct, unchallenged, undiluted, uncompromised rule of the masses is categorical for the survival of the English people. Only through the dictatorship of the masses you can truly emancipate the English people. The dictatorship of the masses helps you to overcome the static friction of the bourgeois society. The dictatorship of the masses helps you to overcome the cowardly conformism of the middle class. The dictatorship of the masses is an indispensable tool in eliminating the stale lethargy prevalent in the postmodern world. The dictatorship of the masses is the energizing impulse you need to wipe out rotten social structures, antiquated class relations, and fossilized concepts of rank, merit, and status. National virtue cannot survive without the stern measures taken by the fanatic masses. Only the direct dictatorship of the people, only the brutal stewardship of the masses can protect national virtue. National revolution is not a tea party. National revolution is not a debate society. National revolution is not a middle-class fantasy. National revolution is nihilistic frenzy to wipe out all that is deformed, rotten, depraved, vile, and debauched. To eradicate and exterminate all that stands between the people and their survival. There is still ecstatic, violent energy hidden in the masses of the ordinary English people, and it will eventually manifest itself in a fervent determination to wage ruthless and self-sacrificing national revolutionary war. This torrent of emotional and spiritual energy is the treasure that is only waiting to be found. The will to power is the will to survive, for without power you will not survive. We demand all power to the English people. All power to the English people without the meddling middle management, without bureaucrats, capitalists, and the privileged classes. National revolution is the apotheosis of the will, a celebration for the evolutionary effects of struggle. You will come out of it transformed.
Wow. This is pretty powerful stuff. I happen to be friends with Kai Murros. So I'm going to put some tunes on here, lighten up a bit. There's very, very heavy stuff. But we're going to get some tunage on. Just trying to get that hooked up, and I'll check the chat, see what you guys are talking about. Got some synthwave. It seems like synthwave is quite popular for this channel, so I'll be doing that momentarily after the stupid commercial breaks. But so in this story at this point, what's happening is the original MAGA force got like whacked basically by Judeo-Christian news. That's if you know it's all part of this story and what's going on. And so there's these new superheroes being and they're in like a TV studio. So this is one of the main guys who works for Judeo-Christian news, and he's trying to set up like a promotional video shoot to do interviews and let the public get to know the new MAGA force, you know, But it's like the new diversity force, and it's almost all people from other countries. And so you can kind of see where that's going, you know. I mean, a company called Judeo-Christian News, you know, that's controlled opposition. There's one white guy in the group. And there's like a Chinese spy. This guy is Muslim. This is a Latino, this is a mulatto guy. He's actually a good guy. He turns out to, you know, he sees that there's like the super MAGA force is infiltrated with all these like foreign agents, people that hate America, hate white people. And because of his good nature as a good person, he tries to fight against his own teammates, to do what's right. This is his best buddy, the rioteer. So there's a lot to the story. It's pretty rough to draw all this and talk about it, but I haven't, nobody really knows the story but me. Anyway, my channel says, bruh, revanced YouTube client, no ads, Android only. I'm not super sure what you mean by that. Can't say for sure. My phone's tweaking out on the, shoot, it's not focusing properly. Let's try this. Come on, phone. Diversity for us, yeah, is that a contradiction? So it's part of the story. It's how do I explain? So the story of Militia Man is about a guy who is kind of like a normie Republican conservative patriot, and believes in America, believes in democracy, thinks the Constitution is going to protect us, believes in the system, believes in the government, pays his taxes, a good American, an all-American, and it turns out that he's got a higher purpose that he doesn't know quite yet. If you've watched my other videos, you might know what that is. And so he goes through some very horrible experiences where he realizes that he's been duped, and he transforms. Actually, at first he turns into Dark Maga, which is like the evil version of him. But then through this other kind of angelic force, he kind of transforms a third time. He transforms into another character that's more like his true form, which is he's a good guy, but more on my end of the political spectrum. That's all I can say about that. So I don't want to. It's tempting to give away things, with like spoilers, what have you. But and in a sense, it's like you kind of have to. I gotta tell people what the story's about. I can't expect you to sit here and just be watching me noodling around all this time and not know what the hell's going on. Get some sense of like interest in the characters, the relation of the characters, etc. So sometimes I will go check out the channels of people who are new to my channel so that I can kind of get to know them. I want to know who's following me, who's watching, and it helps me to understand my audience better. My audience normally and mostly are people who are super based, kind of far right guys and gals, and but since I am getting a lot more traction, I guess, I don't know, a lot more visibility, you're getting a lot of different people coming in, and that's cool. I think most of them are just primarily like art fans, comic fans. It's totally cool. So, but I guess I'm just a little concerned that I might not get the things that I'm talking about, which is why it's fine to ask questions. That's what the chat's for, But if you're just into chilling and watching and enjoying like the relaxing sound of my voice, then you're welcome to do that too. It's just good to have you here. You know what I mean? So I had kind of a long day, but a good day. Gonna be at some point. I'm gonna be breaking off the show here, and then I'm gonna be doing some kung fu, qigong, just like my regular workout stuff. A lot of it right now, I'm just really interested in kind of losing weight because I already know the kung fu stuff pretty well, and I spar and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really more interested in just kind of getting more fit, kind of back to that, because just doing kung fu alone is not really, how do I say? Well, there's two kinds of kung fu, like sparring kung fu, where you're literally using the kung fu and practicing it, and then form training, which is form training. You know, it's like if you were a musician, you would do scales on the piano. That's what most people think of when they think of martial arts. You know, you rehearse the forms that you learn. But like if you're not actually using those things in combat in some controlled manner, you're not fully doing your martial art. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like studying a language and then never going to the country of that language. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta speak the language, have a conversation. Schedules haven't been working out all that well recently with my kung fu buddies. You know, also the weather has changed, so we don't have the luxury of working out outdoors like we used to. Last year we found like a community center that we would go to, and we would use that to spar. That was cool. I have to say I shouldn't say it was cool because I actually didn't like it. But I mean, it's a thing that you should, you know, like it's at least we were working out, you know. But I guess just when you've got cameras on you and people watching you and you're like sparring, it looks dangerous. And to someone who doesn't know what they're looking at, I don't know, you could just see like yourself like maybe getting in some trouble or something. And I'm not trying to get in any kind of trouble. We're just working out. It's just a lot of, you know, I can't expect people to know what it is we're doing. But I guess the bottom line is really I just prefer privacy. I can't stand the idea of like, okay, for example, when we do sparring in public, yeah, well, it's at a park, but it's in a very secluded location where nobody goes. So, you know, we do have privacy. Hey, CG's here. Good to see you, bud. So yeah, we're just cruising. Have you guys been getting I've been getting a lot of like people on Telegram that are trying to sell me, you know, Bitcoin programs and investment programs. It's weird. It's like they're just coming out of the woodwork right now. It's annoying. Alright, this character here, what time is it? Okay, I got about a half hour. Where is she? She has to be the very last one. Anyway, Vexed. She's a bad girl. She's real mean. She's kind of like, I don't want to use certain words that could get me like kicked off YouTube, but she's just a real loud. She's the person that when you're at a movie theater won't shut up. You know what I'm trying to say here? You know, and then if you say, you know, do you mind quieting down, then she'll try to fight you. You know, like physically fight you. It's like a out of control crazy bitch, basically. But what's been going on with your show, CG? What are we? Are we lining something up? We're doing a movie show at some time. I've got a bunch of shows lined up, and I'm getting losing track of everything. What do we got? Saturday night, Tuesday. Oh, Monday. Holy crap! I just remembered. I've got another show on Monday. There's a guy goes by the name White Student Transmission, and he wrote a book. It's a very, very good book. It's kind of about anti-whiteism in the education system, and worked quite hard on it, and it's just a really good book. So we're gonna look that over. All that good stuff. So I wouldn't really call this synthwave. Let me move ahead a little bit. I'm not so sure this is the best choice of music, but just sort of kind of trying to focus on the work here. What is going on? Nothing in the chat really, so okay. Oh, there's something held for review. Mm-hmm. Haha, who is this? A woman that won't shut up. She goes by the name Vexed, and you can get a little sense of this character. She's one of the new MAGA Force Diversity Force members, and she's just like talks in Ebonics, and she's loud and abrasive and very mean-spirited. She actually murders one of the Fash Force guys later, and like two of the other guys on the team catch her and realize, like, holy shit, like, you know, what the fuck? You're like, what's going on? We're supposed to be the good guys. What are you doing? You know, and it starts to crack open the fact that these people don't give a fuck about America. They're just here for the money and the fame, and others are here to undermine things. Like there's a Chinese spy. There's a lot going on with the story we'll get to in time. When the whole thing's done, it's gonna be like revolutionary. There's no comic books like this. There's none at all. It'll completely. My intention is for this to kind of be like the Watchmen of our time, you know, or sort of the White Watchmen, if you will, you know. And there's people, there's it's not all white people in this, but like, and not all of the POC are like evil. It's not that kind of goofy cartoon cutter, cookie cutter mentality. It's not like even for the dissident right per se. You know, it's really for like just a normal audience, comics audience, and it just reflects the truth of our world, of like the way people are in America today. You know, the way the system works. You know, you can't turn on the TV without seeing, you know, whites being outpopulated from their own culture and like demoralized and you know, shown in a bad light in every fucking way. And so I'm fucking done with that. I'm sick of seeing my people shit on over and over for years at a time. When I grew up, you know, this was my country, and you know, you see where I'm going with this. So like, I'm done with that shit, and I'm gonna show the truth. I'm gonna just be like, you know, have some kind of literature that is reflective of the real fucking realities of how people behave and all of that shit. So. So what's shaking with you guys? What's going on? This message is held for review. Oh, that's fine. Show. Yeah. Is her superpower seasoning police? No, not a date of mine. I would not date a woman like this. No. Yeah, she's the kind of person that, when asked to comply, will like start, you know, didn't do nothing, all that jazz. I don't know about you, but like my Twitter is just like crawling with videos like that. You know, when I was a teacher and I had to deal with students like this, in the beginning it was, you know, when you're like straight out of like the white world and you have to work with people that grow up in the, you know, this demographic, then like the problem with white people is they always think that they can like talk things out. There's always, oh, we're gonna work it out, you know. That is used against us. Like, our enemies know that. They know that, and they laugh at us. They fuck with us. You know, they play with that, and it's not. It's a game to them. You know, they like to see how much they can get you riled up. You know, it's cruel. It's like a culture of cruelty. And it's horrible. Like, I hate it. It was awful. That was like 3 of the worst years of my life. Dealing with people like that. Oh man. But you know, in a lot of cases, like, they literally can't control themselves. Like, they're not choosing in a sense to behave a certain way. Rather, like, it's just not, they're not capable. Like, they don't possess normal abilities that normal people do, you know. And, you know, don't tell that to your boss, though, if you're a teacher. You're supposed to just somehow magically work with it. And so you eventually become kind of cruel. You realize that they only understand cruelty. They only understand power. And if you're nice to them, they'll fucking destroy you. They'll walk all over you. So I'll give you an example. Like, I used to give detentions out like candy, you know, and there'd be, the way that would work is that, you know, I'm teaching my class. There's one kid who does some shit he's not supposed to do, and then there's 5 of his buddies that at his table or whatever, they all laugh. And granted, I don't normally let certain kids sit together, but it doesn't matter if they're sitting together or not. They're still gonna fuck around, you know. And then I'll say, like, you know what, you know the rules, you broke the rules, you got detention. And then the kid that did the joke or whatever the thing was, he'd be like, oh, you know, like, I didn't do nothing, you know, like that shit. And then I would point to his friends who laughed, and I'd say, and you all have detention too. And then they would flip out, like, what the fuck? We didn't do anything. And I would look at them, I'd get right up in their face, and I said, you laughed. You laughed. If you didn't laugh at his jokes, he wouldn't do those things. You're part of it. You're the audience. And they, you know, they realize, like, I mean, it's not like fucking rocket science or something, you know, but they realize, like,
we cannot fuck with this teacher. Like, he's not gonna allow us to do this, you know. And I mean, it took me a long time to figure out how to, you know, like, that's how it's got to be or whatever, you know. But which sucked because it's, you know, it just fucking sucked. I hated that job so hard. Oh my god. It was a time when one of the teachers pointed out to me, just kind of like privately, she said that, did you know that, you know, so and so and so and so are the parents of this particular kid? And I I didn't quite put it together. And then the teacher would explain to me, these people are cousins. They're related to each other, and that's their child. And like, that happened more than you would, more than you'd be surprised how fucking often that shit happens. And this is like, the Muslims do it and the blacks do it, and it's like a big hush hush thing in like the education world. Like, how many of these kids are born out of these incest relationships. So naturally, these kids are going to be pretty fucked up, you know, like, you know. Disturbing, you know. I know. Not a fun thing to talk about, but you know, these people go out into the world. You know, they're the ones doing the crime and shit. You know, like, they're the ones standing next to you at the bus station. They're the ones, you know, doing fights at the mall, or this and that and the next thing and the other thing. You know. Crazy. Let's see what you gotta say here. Who's this? Not much. Okay, so we're just moving on and moving on. A little weird conversation. I probably shouldn't have mentioned that, but talking about being when I was a teacher, don't have a lot of positive. I do have some positive things. It wasn't all bad. I helped a lot of kids. You know, I gave a lot of years of my life to children that are in, you know, like, people of color. You know, that, you know, minority neighborhoods. You know, I give a lot of years of my life to these kids. I don't regret that. I'm not sort of saying that per se, but I did finally come to the conclusion that you can help them, but you can't fix them. And that means you're pouring your energy down a well, and it's a bottomless pit. You know, it's going to always be the way that it is. So, you know, my own thoughts on education are like, you wouldn't put a third grader in a master's degree class. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't do that. It's ridiculous. That makes no sense. So why would you put people who have limited social, emotional, and intellectual capacities in like normal schools? You know, instead you should have vocational schools for them. You can obviously learn to read and write, you know, but give them work, give them an ability to survive, give them a way to out of like selling drugs and shit. You know what I'm saying? Give them options. You know, I know there's a lot of like comments that people can make on this topic, but I genuinely think that this would be it'd be more beneficial for white people if we had some kind of programming, you know, barring like, you know, people going back to Africa or whatever the situation is, you know. But like having realistic educational programs that are based on their abilities or inabilities. You know what I'm saying? And are realistic about it. So we're our education system's run by liberal women. Of course, the who's are in charge of like the academic pedagogy or philosophy of what is what constitutes education, good education, da 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 da. Yeah. We all know about this and that and those elements of it. But speaking kind of like seriously about the matter, when and if we're able to, or I would say when we're able to take back education, I just feel like that would be the thing to do. I don't really like this music. I'm gonna have to change it. It's not like authentic synthwave. It's sort of like commercial synthwave or something. I'll find something better than this shit. How about Here's My Baby? All right, that's a good one. Oh yeah. So So what's going on? We got a show on Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday, and I'm of course doing these crazy inking shows where I just use my magical, soothing voice to keep people hypnotized. And I'm casting my spell on you to sit and watch me draw. Um, let's move on. I'm sort of kind of not in the mood to like draw all these teeny tiny people. That's a little hard to do. Maybe, and probably not fun for you to watch. Maybe this page I could kind of get started on this. That's our girl Vexed, and she's like, "Don't nobody tell me what to do." Like that kind of, you know, you know what I mean? So like, finally we got a superhero who is that. Mm. So don't nobody tell me how to draw. That's right. And it's a range, it's not like that's a real, I don't know, archetype. That's a real personality type, but there's, like I said, there's like chill people in here. You get the whole range, there's like good guys, neutral people, and bad people, and they all are kind of mixed into the story. But I'm definitely saying and representing things that you can't say and represent in like mainstream comics. Not gonna do. So there you go, man. Like, wow. Wow, dude. Let's shake it. I'm pretty anxious to actually get working out. I'm gonna pull out some Shaolin forms tonight. And work on some snake forms, long fist, crane, tiger, a little bit of leopard in there. Was hanging out with a friend of mine last night. He's a Kempo teacher, and he was showing me a video of a Kempo teacher she's like this super hot chick that has like like a TikTok or some kind of thing like that, and she does the forms and stuff. And after you start oogling over how gorgeous she is, you can this particular form, or some forms I saw of Kempo, are definitely linked to Southern Kung Fu. And my Kempo buddy even told me, like, there's a very, very clear connection between Kempo and Kung Fu. But Kempo seems to be the sort of shorter, in his opinion, the more streamlined version. It's like, it's shorter, faster, that kind of thing, something. And what he doesn't know, and most people don't know, is that Kung Fu has a very vast amount of layers to it, using many kinds of energy. It's not. The problem is most people think that martial arts is just physical. They don't understand the energetic side of it, and I don't blame them. Of course, they wouldn't know that. It's not fair to judge them. But anyway, there it is. Audio back. Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, I gotta head out. I'm gonna work out a bit here, and just wanted to get some time in tonight with my show and you guys. I hate to be a bummer. It's kind of a short show, but there was a lot of information in this show that was pretty valuable. So I wish you well. Remember, Saturday 7 o'clock, Monday at noon, Tuesday at noon again, I believe. Yeah. And then, wow, I'm a busy guy. Anyway, audio dropped. Just a minute. I don't know why the audio dropped, but I gotta bust a move, guys. So see you next time.